What is happening with all of my goofball people in the RC community? My friends, how y'all doing today? How is everybody doing up in here? As you can see, I'm a little rested today because I was actually able to get some time off, and I worked for like 8 days straight, something like that. They gave me 2 days off, and was able to relax, do some fun stuff, and except for fly. I didn't get to fly, but I did get to work on stuff and do some things. So what? So anyway, I'm not quite as sleepy as I normally am because I've had some time to recoup. But what is up to everybody? Thanks y'all for being here. As y'all know, that is me. That's my website. I like RC. I do burners for planes. I do Gooniac stacks for planes. I do RC pretty much mostly RCES, but lots of stuff. And if you're interested in anything RC related, give me fill out the form there to get me to get to me and ask questions, inquiries on burners, whatever. I've been getting a lot of inquiries on burners, which is really cool. But check me out there. Doesn't have to be something I sell. It could just be a question about RC if you want, or you could do comments in the videos, whatever. But that is me. That's my website. Take a look when you get a chance. If you're interested in becoming a member to the site or merchandise, etc., there's the merchandise there. There's actually a link in the description as well, and also a link showing how to become a member of the channel. So that's it, and that's that. I only do that in the beginning for a very short time because the rest of it is about y'all. So let's get back to the shout outs because you guys were cool enough to spend time in my premiere, which is before this, and then lots of you guys came back. So let's take a look and see what is going on because all these people showed up and were chatting early. And if I miss anyone, I'm not doing it on purpose. It's just because of the way that it works with this chat thing sometimes. But Big Chris was one of the first people here. What is that, Big Chris? He's a member, and for more info on becoming a member, check the links in the description. It shows you how to do it. You can either click the join button, or there's an actual link in the description showing how to do it. Mr. Pete Lane, my good friend, Mr. Pete Lane, who happened to be the one to buy my Sirius and go through and do a really cool paint job of it. So, Pete, thank you for taking good care of that plane and making it look better than it did when we had it. Big Chris, who's another member. What's up, Chris? Jack78, another member. What is happening? Mr. Anthony Lachey, another member. What is up? Who else? Paul McNeil. Hopefully, you're able to see some of those cool flyovers. I was able to mix that video up in a way that allowed the flyovers to be seen since I had one that actually happened during my RC flying. I flew my Hawk in circles right there by the planes when they flew over so that I could get a little bit of it on video, which was kind of cool. It looked way closer in person than it did on the video, but still cool. Tim Jusins, what is up? Mr. Craig Bevan, what is up? Eddie K, thank you for being here. I'm going to make you a moderator since you've already been chatting with everybody. Thank you for being here, my friend. Scotty Story, what is up? Another member. What's happening, Scotty? Andy Cho, another member. What is up, Scotty? Andy. Sorry. Wild Bill, what is up? Angelo Lopez, what is happening? Steve George, what's happening? Keep chatting and I'll give you a wrench as well. Who else? Shadow Ops, what's happening? Haven't seen you in a while. How are you doing, Shadow? Who else? I'll have to get back to checking what people are saying here in a minute. I just wanted to make sure that to shout out everyone. Mr. Slapnuts, Mr. Gambling Slapnuts, what's up? Spencer, how you doing? Rachel, what is happening? I'll make you a moderator because you've been here quite a few times. So let's see. I think that's it for now, but thank you guys for being here. Going to, sorry if the screen keeps changing back and forth, but I'm changing screens. But let me see what's going on with all y'all here. Mr. Airvex, what is up? Thanks to you guys for being here. Thanks for watching the premiere that was happening a little bit ago. I had some things I wanted to do today, but I was all my kids were home today. My son was like, "Hey, Dad, we need to go for a drive." So ended up taking a drive up Highway 9 with him, um, and getting to see how the brakes work that we worked on a couple weeks ago, and it was pretty cool. Good day. So as I said, I'm relaxed. Been a good day. Yeah, I got to go back to work tomorrow, but it's been good. So let's get to the usual, which is y'all asking questions, and then I got some stuff to show y'all here in a little bit. And then also to discuss, because I was working on some, you know, you always get to that point in this hobby where you kind of get, if you fly a lot, you get to a point where you kind of get stagnant and kind of get bored with what you've got, and you want to try something different and don't know what that's going to be, and then something hits you, and all of a sudden you're ready to do it. So with me, it's been getting rid of some planes, buying some new ones, and then also trying some stuff that I never got around to trying. So I have 2 planes with red bricks in them, and those red bricks are good for up to 7S. So I have these fans that need to be tried on 7S, and you saw the video a couple weeks ago of the F-22 on 7S. Worked out pretty good. Excuse me. So I decided that I ordered another 6S, the FMS 90 millimeter 12 blade with 40 millimeter motor, 1850 kV. So I ordered another one of those. Took a little bit to get here, but I put it in my F-15. So that's what I did yesterday. And I changed the UBC. I still have to do a little bit of wire management inside. But you get to that point where things are kind of boring and you need to do something different. So I'm livening it up a little bit. That's so I had to change the stabs on my F-15. Did that. The F-15 I'm gonna end up scrapping that plane. That's my oldest 90 millimeter. I bought that in 2016, in the summer of 2016. So it's time to probably move on from that and get something else. But I'm trying to set up in it first to see how it works. Should be good because the F-22 worked really well. So hoping that it works good in this bird. And then my Hawk that you saw in that video playing earlier, that was a I upgraded that to the new 36 millimeter motor, 2000 kV, 80 millimeter FMS fan. So I upgraded that. So I've got 2 planes that are ready for some action with some new stuff. Hoping that will be exciting to get things back rolling again. Being, you know, it's always fun, but you kind of get to a point where it gets stagnant at times. And I've gotten to that point, and now it's all exciting again because I got more stuff to do. But my water, my voice is getting weird. Let me go grab the water. But anyway, this time for questions, y'all. So if you get questions, now is the time. Like I said, we're not going to go for a crazy long time today, but I do have some stuff to show you because I got something cool going on. Keith Christie, what's up? I see you. JCV67, what is happening? I see you just commented on the video too. Thank you very much. So, any questions with y'all? Any guys have any questions or anything going on? I have gotten lots and lots of burner inquiries lately, which is cool, and it's people have been watching videos. So big shout out to RC Informer for always supporting me and throwing people my way, because pretty much everybody that's contacted me has been sent to me by him. So I much appreciated Mr. RC Informer, Rich Baker. Everybody that I've gotten inquiries for over the last 3 days have been all from him. So thank you, Rich. So I see Shadow Ops is working on car stuff, which is cool. Like I said, I've been working on helping my son with his car, working on mine. I actually got to do some pretty impressive hill driving with mine today and was very impressed with the little bit of mods that I've done. But it's been fun. Son's car was not stopping like a cruise ship, which was great. Shadow, so you're working on your truck. Is it the diesel truck you're talking about or something else? So, Lionel Randall, that's true. This is what everybody's been asking. New X-Fly B1. I've known about it for a while, and I've talked about it on the show for a while. I didn't have the final details, but I did know that they had a B1 coming. The initial spec said possibly 450 millimeters, which didn't make a whole lot of sense. Which didn't make a whole lot of sense, but Twin 70 did make sense, which is what it's going to be. Only issue is the X-Fly 70 is not very good. Not very good. So I didn't realize it was so loud, Airvex, but it's down now. I gotta have something playing in the background, otherwise it's too much for me. Because I hear myself talking and nothing else. But anyway, yeah, the 70 millimeter X-Fly fans are not the best out of the X-Flies. So we're gonna have to see how that actually works out. I don't necessarily care for the people that they're using to represent them either, just because of where it is, where they're located. They're way up at high altitude, so it's not really going to be representative of what the thing's going to be. So we'll have to wait and see. So sorry about that, Airvexed, but we got it fixed. Okay, so let's see. Here's some questions. So I've been putting 64 tests. Yeah, Garfield Houston is the man. Oh dang! You were able to get the stock fan on 6S, and it didn't burn up. What the heck? That's good, Anthony. Trying some new stuff. I like that. So tell me this: what kind of heat are you getting? What are you seeing for heat? Because these motors can take a lot more heat than you think. The problem is if you notice that the motors if you notice that the windings are getting dark, that's telling you that it's too much heat. Also, when you're running it up and you notice that your battery is dropping below 3.7 volts per cell on a full charge when it's under load, that means that your motor is working too hard. So yeah, but tell me what you're getting as far as ooh, I didn't know it was that loud, Airvex. But if you get a chance, let me know, Anthony, what actual temperatures. The motors are okay if they're warm, but if you can't touch it, that's a problem. If you look at the windings and you see that they're getting really dark, that's a problem. If they're under 100 degrees, I mean, even 105, 110 degrees, that's fine. So, and you got to keep in mind too, when you're flying, there's always going to be air moving. So that's actually going to help you. But yeah, so just monitor it when you're flying. I mean, if you do a run, when you do a run up on the ground, do it like you would normally when you're flying. Do a burst and then drop it down to half or a quarter, and leave it that way because that keeps the air moving over the motor. And then go back up like as if you were doing a pass for a couple seconds, and then go back down to half, and then back to a quarter, and leave it at that quarter so that you can keep the air moving over the over the fan, over the motor. And yes, shadow ops, those guys are at 4,000 feet. So, and they're very thin or very dense air depending on the temperature. So it's kind of hard to judge what things are going to do up there. A lot of planes tend to go faster there. The amp draw will be less, but speeds will be higher. So it just depends. Um, and yes, as I was saying, the if you notice that things are getting hot, um, the coating on the wires will actually start to get dark. It should stay a copper color, but if you notice that it's turning a really, really dark brown or near black, that's a bad sign. Um, so Craig Bevan, if I were to change those fans, I'd put the new, because they're the exact same footprint as an FMS. I'd either put the FMS 1900 kV, actually, you just put them as they come, or the other setup I have. So it would be good. The other setup I've done are the older 1850 kV fans, the old blades, with the new 1900 kV motor, and that works really well. So, but I just put the 1900 with the 30 millimeter motor. I'd put those in there. Those would work pretty good. Airbags, tell me if that's too loud. I just turned it up a little bit. So let's see what else we got. And yes, those QX are actually pretty good. And if it's on 6S, that's good because then you can go back a little bit. But the QX are pretty good. I've used QX a lot for 4S planes. I haven't tried the 6S versions, but I know they can do it. It's good. Good to hear. For a second, guys. Sorry, I'm monitoring the basketball score for the Golden State Warriors and the Timberwolves, and they're in overtime. Anyway. So, yeah, there's the Snow River. There's just music playing in the background. I think I can mainly hear it. I don't think anyone else can. It's just to keep it from there being nothing playing. But I mainly do that for me. And if there's, if I have to pause and go set up the camera, which I'm going to do here in a few minutes. I have worked with all kinds of electrical stuff, mainly for like electric carts or alternators or starters. Some of the worst smell burn up stuff are starters that have shorted. Starters or alternators that have shorted. Um, that smell is absolutely horrid. It's worse than ESCs. So, um, yeah. So I know that smell. It's nasty. And if a plane overheats, if a motor overheats, it'll eventually demagnetize the magnets. But before it does that, it's going to stink to high hell. It's absolutely horrible. Terrible, terrible, terrible smell. Yeah. Okay, good to hear it, Airvex. But so that's a pretty good increase, Anthony. 78. That's good. That's good. And the Fred Barron, big shout out to you because you just sent me. I think that's you. I got a PayPal. I think you just sent me a PayPal. Yes, you did. Thank you, the Fred Barron. Thank you very much. Thank you. Thank you very much. Thank you very much. He's been one of my biggest supporters for a long, long time. Appreciate it. But yeah, so guys, I have some stuff set up to talk to you about and actually show. I have it set up on my table over here, but I'll get to that in a little bit. Um, Let's see here. Tim Jusins, I think the only thing that smells worse than burnt electrical equipment um, is a burned clutch. If you've ever smelled a clutch in the process of being burned, or one that's been burned, and if you're pulling one apart and you get that crap on you, you just can't get rid of that smell. Nasty. Yeah. But yeah, when you are testing the limits of things, you tend to burn things up. And it's been a while since I've done that. That's kind of why I'm doing what I'm doing now with the planes that I've got, because I want to do something that has not been done. So Garfield Houston, I don't know if he's on here today, but he gave me the inspiration to start trying some new stuff. So yes, overheated brakes too, but I don't know what it is about clutch material. Clutch material smells the worst. And if when you pull apart a clutch after being burned and then you get the little residue on you, you can't get rid of that smell for like a week. It's awful. Awful, awful. Yeah. Yes. And there you go, Tim Jusins. Perfect. Makes perfect sense. A manual, overpowered, or burnt automatic transmission fluid. That smells bad. All that stuff smells bad. On top of just the way gear oil smells anyway, just like the regular gear oil for differentials. Blech. And if it's old and stank, even worse. Disgusting. So anyway, so I've got a couple things to show y'all over on my table. Yeah, gear oil itself, it could be brand new, but the gear oil with the additives in it for LSDs, and then when you get it burned, oh, it's even worse. Or if it's old, that's bad. I'll take the smell of diesel over the smell of freaking gear oil. Ugh. And yeah, so anyway, don't mean to get off subject, but I work with all that stuff. You could see in the beginning of that premiere, I was over by one of the compressors that I've been fueling for the last couple of weeks with that goofy face. Feeding that beast 250 gallons of diesel a day. And yes, Shadow Ops, dead on. Test drives are terrible on cars. A lot of times, even a brand new car that's been test driven will be, and if it stinks, park it and get in another one. So Airvex, what's this? About to upgrade his stick from 60 amp to 80 amp. Drop to see the boost. Are you upping the prop size or dropping the prop size? And the thing is, with a lot of those motors that go on airplanes, they have a much wider range of what they can do. That's a good topic there too, Tim Jusins. I'm actually going to buy some of those and make a pack. I watched that and that was pretty impressive. And those packs are crazy light. So I'll have to look into getting some. I have a battery supplier that we use for the electric carts and other stuff, that the equipment at work. And they are able to get these cells, and they have the equipment to make those packs. So I can have them make me a couple of those. Exactly, 8S for 450 grams. The 6S, I think it was 6S that was 450, and then the 8S was under 600. We're barely right around 600, which is crazy light for 8S. But yeah, so I plan on getting some of those and trying them. But I don't want to go nuts though until I know that they'll for sure work. The stuff that I use, and that guy uses them in big planes, and he was getting 400 and I forget. He was able to fly at one of his big composite EDFs for a really long time. But I'd rather try those Leons than SMCs because the price is much more reasonable. They don't degrade, and okay, so Airvex, the motor will be fine. If anything, it might be underpropped. What you might want to do, if you're going to go from a 15.7 down to a 14, if they make a 14.8, a 14.8 might make more sense. So that because going to 14.6 from a 15.7, that's not going to hurt anything. That's going to drop everything. The only way that it would change is if you were going to make it a 3-blade. 14.6 3-blade would be more than a 15.7 2-blade. But yeah, no, Tim, that's cool. I watched the video. It was good stuff. Very cool. So let me get my yeah, so just remember, if you go down in prop size, you're going to go down in amps. It's not going to hurt anything. And again, a way to know whether the motor's happy or not, if you're able to run it up with the battery checker, and now with the props work different than EDFs. On the ground, a prop is going to draw more on the ground than it will in the air because it will unload. But if you're within, if you're on the ground, and this is the most important part, look at your battery voltage under load. If with a fully charged pack and you do a run up, and your cell voltage is at 3.7 volts or higher, the motor's fine, because once it's under load, it's going to unload even more, and it'll probably be 3.8 or less, which is perfect. If you're under 3.7, figure out how much under, and then think about if you're in the air, it might go a little bit over, might get back to 3.7 or above. But on the ground, it's always going to draw more. Prop planes unload in the air. But rule of thumb, when you go down in prop size and down in pitch, you're going to have less draw. But yeah. SMC packs are significantly better than smart packs, and they cost about the same. I don't like. So yeah, Airvex, just as I said, you can tell when a motor's not happy because it'll start drawing a lot. You'll start seeing really low, really high voltage drop and really high amps if a motor's not happy. If you notice that the motor is still, with the fully charged pack, 3.7 volts or above, that's better. Just check that and you'll see. And they don't list much stuff at all, and a lot of their things end up burning up because there's nothing listing what they're going to do anyway. So, all right, guys, so let's get this stuff set up, because I've got some stuff set up for y'all to see. It's going to take me a few minutes to set up the camera, but it won't take me that long. So let's do that, and I'll be right back. All right, I've got the other setup here, so hopefully you guys can hear me. I gotta pull up my um, tablet here so I can see the chat, but hopefully y'all can hear me. And let me know on the chat if you can hear me okay. So let me know if you guys can hear me because I got a different setup here. I've got my tablet here so I can see, but let me know if y'all can hear. Okay, good, you can hear. All right. So as you can see, got something different. I haven't done anything with the 64 millimeter in a while. Well, I have with the twins, but nothing where I'm actually upgrading something. So I have a Lipish P15. That's my mother's name too. I didn't realize that. So I wasn't really looking to do one of these just because I didn't want to deal with 3S, and I didn't like the 5-blade. So I figured, what the heck, I've got one of these. Let's do something different since I'm going to have to start flying here at the park nearby on days when I don't feel like going all the way out to Livermore. So we're going to get to that in a second, but check this out. this will be unboxed. It's a really super small box. Um, and they're actually able to stuff some of my other things in there. I ordered gear for my F-104. It's here. I was able to do that. And then I've got my linkages too for the F-104, so I'm going to get that thing back together and running. And I'm going to put this receiver in my F-104 so that I can get it dialed in with the gyro, the proper gyro, and get the thing working how I want. So that's down the road. But when I ordered the Lipish, I got extra stuff. They're able to fit it all in the same box. They put some here in this and then others on the outside. So it was cool. So this is the unboxing for today, but I want to set that aside for a second because I want to show you guys some other stuff too. So as I was saying, I went through and changed the fans. This is the fan. So Jack Scott, if you're still here, this is the fan. You get to see my nasty thumb too. This is the fan that comes in the new the Hawk. It doesn't say it on the box, but this is the new fan. 2100 kV comes standard in it. Really good fan. Way better than the old stock one. The new fan that I'm putting in is actually a little bit better than this because it's less amp draw and a little bit more thrust, but this is really good for that plane. If you watched the video of me flying that plane earlier, this is what was in it. Perfectly balanced from the factory, out of the box, and it flew great. But I want to try something different, so I changed it. My F-15, this is one of my custom Gooniac setups. I used a 4082 1900 kV motor. It's a boat motor, so it's waterproof and everything. This is the old freewing housing that they used to sell. Notice they don't have much of a lip. Not having much of a lip is a bad thing because it doesn't direct the air the way it should be. So this always made a little bit more noise than I liked, but it did work pretty good. This is an FMS rotor, FMS spinner. You can see it's all balanced and all that stuff too. You can see the balancing weight. But this thing worked really good in the F-15, but it's an amp hog. So there's the fire beauty, but it's an amp hog. So that's why I'm trying the 7S setups in the F-15 and F-22. They're not going to be pulling nearly as many amps as what this will, because I think this is around 140. This motor doesn't bother that motor at all. That motor was fine, but still, the batteries would start to suffer over time, just because that's putting out a lot of amps at full power. So anyway, that's the stuff I was working on over the last couple days. Let me check out the chat real quick before I get to this other stuff. Michael Bear is back. There you are, my friend. So we got this thing working. Sorry you haven't been able to get on the chat for a while, but you are back. Michael Bear, thanks for being here. I don't know how you got blocked. Might have been one of those things where I was falling asleep, not paying attention, or I bumped something. So let's take a quick look at that too. Shadow Ops, I see. So with the new fans, with the new FMS fans, so you can see the spinner sticking out. With the new fans, you can barely see the spinner because they've moved them back. And when you do that, it cleans up the air going in. The fans are quieter. It makes the air more direct. It makes it less picky when it comes to intake air, because it just cleans everything up, makes everything better. This is the freewing 9-blade in runner. This one actually is fairly good as far as the lip. It's not much of an intake lip here, but it is set further back. But anytime you see a lip that looks like that, that's a better design because it's set to make things draw things in more. What I've noticed about this fan as opposed to the 2000 kV though, this fan is quite a bit noisier, which means that there's not quite enough. It's a little too far to the front. Move it further back, and that's what I've done with the X-Fly housing. Using that same rotor, this same rotor and motor in the X-Fly housing, which is further back, made a huge difference. That's what I have in the F-35 that was in the video earlier. So let's do the easiest part first for the unbox, which would be the X-Fly EDF unit. So what I'll have to do, I might even do that here on the show. I'll pull it apart and take a look. But this is the X-Fly unit. For 4S, these things have actually been pretty good. From what I've seen, the X-Fly 80 is pretty good. The 50 is good. The 64 is good. The 70, not so much. And I don't know why. Maybe it's just that the motor's a little too high kV or something. I don't know. But from what I've seen, and all the people I know of that have tried these are significantly better than anything else on the market. So even better than FMS for 70s. I mean for 64s. So I'm gonna try these out and see how they work. I had a couple, and I don't really use 4S, but I'm like, what the heck? What the heck, right? What the heck? So let's get this thing open. It's really small. I haven't seen anything this small in a while. Let's see. So yeah, and oh yeah, it's a 64. You have a 64 from E-Flight in your P15. So yeah, let's get this thing open. So I opened the box already, but I didn't. I mean, I opened the shipping box that this came in, but everything else is still secured. It has not been opened. So we're going to do that right now. Move that out the way. Oops, I don't know what I just knocked off. It was a remote. Oops. I'm going to mute really. Oh, I can't do that. Let's see. I can't mute it because I'm using this phone. So, as usual, Motion does a really good job packaging. And like I said, they packaged multiple things in here. This was actually inside, but it was insulated, which is cool. But there's the manual. Tells you all the stuff it's using. We'll go through that another time. But let's get all the parts out. So I think that's the little vertical stabilizer. I might put a rudder in, and that would help with balance. But we'll see. There's very minimal pieces. This is the right wing. No damage. With all that stuff. And this is one of those things I can just throw in my car with no issues. No problems. No problems. But look how simple this is. It's super simple. I might even be able to open this up and look at the fan since we've got it here. You know what? I think I'm going to do that. But look, it's got the XT60 that comes on there. Decent amount of room in there. 4S 2200 is what I'll use. If I can't use that, then I'll use a 1600, which I do have. But let's open this up. There's the spar right there. I can pull that out yet. But let's get a screwdriver and open this thing up. Open this thing and see if I can access the fan. I'm not even going to fly it on 3S. I'm just going to take that fan out from the beginning. It's coming out. So, looks like it's pretty loose already. There we go. There we go. Keep from gouging the phone. So it looks like it's going to require a little bit of work to get that thing out, especially since they use, looks like they use we call it shrink wrap over the motors, over the motor wires. So it's not going to be too hard. Now normally there's a lip on this right here, but that lip is gone because they have, looks like it's fairly contoured on the way in there. But it's only a 5-blade fan. I don't like 5 blades. But look at the difference between the motors. So look at how long this motor is compared to that. So this is going to give you more torque, more kV. Well, let's see what this one is. This one is 4,500 kV, so that's ideal for 3S. I think it could do 4 as well, but I'm not going to push it. But this one's significantly bigger. So we're going to run that. We're going to run that. Now, what I think they've done in here is glue this in place. They have. So I have to slowly work that back and forth with possibly some alcohol or something to get that out of there. But I'll do that another time. But I did want to open something up for y'all to see. That's going to be super easy to do. Just a little bit of foam removal to get that thing out of there. But I want to do something different, and having another little small EDF gripper on 4S would be great, because I have my little screamer right now, which is a 4S Speed Demon. But this thing I can actually do something with and have parts for it, not have to worry too much about it. So, not going to do it all today, but now at least you get to see what it is I've got planned to work on. It's just something different. I've been working on nothing but big things for a while, so nice to mix it up a little bit. They did a good job. So I'll remove all the paint here, all the paint there for the glue joints, and we'll be good to go. So there's that. So yeah, there's something new coming. We've got rain coming this weekend, so we'll have to see when I can actually get this thing together. But we will be getting it together sooner than later, because, like I said, we're going to do something different. So, I don't know if I can get that back in there. Whatever, doesn't matter. Doesn't have to be. It's just a small plane. So there's that. So that's some of the new stuff. And then, as I was saying, I've got these things for my F-104. The funny thing is, this alone costs more than that plane because of all the parts that are involved to retract all the mounting points, the wheels. And I totally broke this out of my F-104 when it went in on the bad landing. Trying to throttle up and nothing happened, and it hit sync, and right at the edge of the runway just destroyed all the gear. So I'm going to replace all that. I have all the doors already. So it's just a matter of getting all that stuff done, but we've got some new things on the horizon. But this thing, that's going to be fun. It'll require a little bit of work, but it should be fun nonetheless. So there you go, something different. So let's get out of here. I'll check the chat real quick before we head over to the other camera. So I'm checking the chat at the moment. So yeah, airbags, that was the plan. The main reason for wanting to put a rudder on it would be to help with balance, since I'd be using, although with this bigger motor, that motor's quite a bit bigger, that alone might help, because that's significantly larger than what the stock one is. The stock one motor is only about to here, and this one's quite a bit bigger, but we'll see. And then the shroud is a little bit longer. So it'll require some gouging, but it's no big deal. This plane was $119 too. I mean, that's a steal for what it is. That's and then I have I'll probably use a Lemon RX in this one because there's no point using anything more. But I have a Lemon RX and I can do. I haven't tried the because the Lemon RX you can actually do all the mixing in the radio. I mean without having to touch the radio, we can have it do it in the RX itself. So I might try that. So Shadow, from what I've heard, yes, the XY is significantly better than the Freewing and the FMS in the 64 millimeter size. Uh, maybe a little bit better than QX motor, but QX motor is pretty good too. So we'll see. But plane to balance without having a 9 gram servo in the tail for the rudder, I'll change that. But Snow River, yes, it's an outrunner. You can see it right there. Almost all the 64 millimeter fans, 64 and under, are going to be outrunners. So Michael Bear, it shouldn't be that much. That motor, the motor that I'm using was what? Is under $30. I don't think I'm even going to change the ESC. I'll just put a UBEC to be safe. So at most, the plane will be $150 once I'm done. And then I'll try to use a 2200 battery. So it's going to be cheap. I got the fan for less than $36. I got it for like 28. So yeah, it's going to be cheap. It'll be fun. The thing should scream. So let's get out of this camera, and then I'll head back to the usual one. Mike's going to change too, so. All right, guys, that's it for this. I'll be back to the other one. All right. So cool. So we got all that done. Let me know if you guys can hear me still. Yeah, the Michael Bear, the freewing, the X-Fly fans are actually pretty cheap. The only other one that I would suggest is the QX motor, which is an actual exact footprint as the freewing and FMS, not FMS, the freewing. It's the exact same footprint. So let's see. I'm gonna check up on that. So the Flyfans motor, it's almost exactly the same, but the Flyfans motor are FMS. They don't say it on there, but they are FMS. They do say FMS on the Flyfans 70 millimeters. It just says blatantly says FMS. On their 70 millimeter birds, the what do they call it? I have to get that plane done too. On the JAS 39. Yeah. They have, that's right, the K8 you can get a 6S version too, if I remember right. So yeah, so give me just a second. Gotta check on the score. Well, that sucked. They lost in overtime by 5. That's some doo-doo. Anyway. So Anthony Lachey, the QX motors have been really good for me. Do I have any planes with I don't have any more with QX motors. No, I don't. All the planes I had, I sold. But QX motor, we used to call those the eBay fans because you could get those on eBay for under $30 shipped, and then just spend 5-10 minutes balancing. They were good to go. I put the QX motor fans in the freewing 64 millimeter A10, and that thing sounded like a turbine. It sounded incredible once I got them balanced. But yeah, so that's that. So yeah, Michael Bear, just like I said before, modifications I'm going to add. I think the most that plane will cost is roughly 150 total, maybe a little bit more, because at the UBC is what, 10 bucks. Then the fan, a little under 30 for me. Yeah. Yeah, the T7 sounds awesome. I was trying to get this one. Craig Bevan, thanks for coming by, man, and get some rest. I got to get up at 5 in the morning too to get to work, so I'm not going to stay up here forever. But we've been on for a little over an hour, which is good. I don't like going much more over an hour. That fan that I balanced online for you guys a couple times ago, I just got that sent out to its owner, to Scott. So hopefully he'll get some video of that plane so you can see. But yeah. So Shadow Ops, the X-Fly fans are pretty good. From what I've heard from a lot of people, they are significantly better than others on the market. I'll try them. I'll try it in this, and then because I have lots of luck with lots of experience with the QX, so I'll be able to tell right away if it's better. The QX would draw right around 50 amps, depending on the battery you use. As far as I know, these draw a little less than that, so should be good. Don't see it being a bad thing. Shadow, message me offline. I'll send you a couple, but you got to message me and we'll deal with it from there. But yeah, so that's pretty much it, my peoples. Thank you all for being here and hanging out and watching me ramble, listening to me ramble, and watching me fumble with stuff. But it's been good. So hopefully you guys like the way that I set up this last video. I'm gonna try to do videos mixed up with some other stuff, or several flights in one instead of just one at a time, just to make it a little bit more. Now that I've got this new phone, I can do lots more with it, because the camera that I use, I'm able to download directly from that camera to my phone, and then I can fiddle with it there to make it a little bit easier to deal with. Tim Juicens, thanks for hanging out, and we'll see you later. But hopefully I'll be able to get to some more flying at the. I think we've got weather coming in this weekend, so I won't be able to do anything. me check out the weather, because I think that the weather's going to change. Shadow Ops, have a good night, my friend. And like I said, message me off either through Instagram or Facebook. Message me after. I might have something to be able to help you. Yeah, we got rain. Well, Saturday doesn't look too bad. Maybe I'll be able to do something Saturday. We'll see. It depends on what my work schedule is going to be. But yeah, Friday, Saturday, Sunday looks like we have chances of rain. So I may not be able to fly this weekend, which is going to suck. But I'll have to work too, so we'll figure something out. Anyway, thank you guys for being here. I will leave the chat up for a little bit, but we are going to shut it down here, and then I'll see you guys the next time. Adios.